Hey. All right. Welcome back to another episode of The Blockument. Crypto education through everyday conversation. My name is Nate Talbot. I am the executive director of Detroit Blockchain Center. And to my right is the
Adjective.
I need the adjective. Is the adjectived?
Yeah, the adjectived. Adjectivated. Ashlee Rose. I am an everyday mother. I'm an online reseller. And I'm on a journey to figure out what is going on with all this crypto, blockchain, Bitcoin, Ethereum, pick your coin stuff.
Pick your coin stuff. Pick a coin.
Pick it.
Do you have to pick a coin, or can you pick all the coins?
Oh, you can pick whatever coin you want.
Yes.
As many as you want, as little as you want.
This is the thing people have to understand. You can pick whatever you want. All of this is routed in freedom.
Yep.
I don't have to agree with your picks.
That's right.
But you're free to pick them. And if you ask me about them or try to evangelize them to me, then I can tell you all about your pick.
Right.
There it is.
It's up to you what path you want to take.
It's up to you. I take the path of freedom.
To choose your own adventure.
Choose your own adventure. We should make a choose your own adventure crypto book.
Okay, I'll write that down.
You have your initial Alice coming into the scene, and she gets introduced to Bitcoin. But then somebody else says, what about Ethereum? Or XRP?
Oh, boy.
And then she gets to choose her own adventure.
Yep.
Netflix will pick that up.
Yep.
All right, anyway. All right, we got a couple guests in the house, but before we get into all that, let's first go into what time is it?
All right. It is block height 830. Oh, did you see that?
I saw it. Happened live.
Okay.
Let's go to the new block.
Reroute. All right. We're choosing our own adventure. It is block height 835,089. This block size was 1.87 megabytes, which comprise of 1,896 transactions. The total fees and subsidies for this block were 6.38 Bitcoin, which equals 430,651 US dollars. The lovely winners of that beautiful sum of money was Foundry USA.
Foundry USA. So in the mempool.space where we grab all our data, they have the cool new goggles feature. You familiar with that?
No.
Yeah, see these little goggles here? So you can click them, and then you can start distinguishing each of the transactions on like their features, whether they are
if it's on the phone
RBF. You can. Whether it was, this is how you can determine how many transactions were inscriptions, how many use SegWit, how many use Taproot, pay to cash, pay to script, coin joins, a whole bunch of information.
Oh yeah, that's gonna have to go on the Block Explorer episode, because you're talking mumbo jumbo to me now.
Talking the mimba jimba jibba jibba. Anyway, mempool.space. They don't pay for any sponsorship or advertising, but they are they're a nonprofit.
Oh, okay, well.
And you can run it locally. And so if you're into Bitcoin and want to know what's happening, it probably is the only Block Explorer you should be using.
Probably.
Paid for by the Detroit Blockchain Center. And we got some guests in the house today.
Yes, we do.
We got some guests. Before we introduce them, though, why do we have guests? What are we talking about today?
Do crypto and AI align?
Does crypto and AI align? Nice. And who do we got in the house talking with us about it?
Wait, who wants to go first? We got two guests.
We got two. Let's
ladies
start.
first.
All right, well, ladies first. So, hope she's set. First, we got a super producer.
Pum, pum, pum. once an episode.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Hey.
I don't know if we can hear you yet.
Want to borrow mine? I'll
I gotta get
sweep it across.
Hello, hello.
Oh,
we
there
are.
she is.
There she is, full in the house.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for having me on. I do appreciate it. This is my first time on the block here.
Yeah.
It's your first time visually on the block.
Yes,
Yeah.
visually
We've
on the
heard
block
your voice before, and for at least the past 6-7 months,
Yeah.
you've been the power behind the blockument.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. And I'm very interested in seeing you do all still do all the technical stuff, but also be on screen.
I'm moving, hustling in the background. Thank you.
Thank you. And who else do we got? Long time friend of the show.
Yeah.
Repeat guest.
Yeah.
Hi everybody, I'm Bryon. I teach people in Latin America how to do crypto, how to understand Bitcoin, and how to make money on the swings of the market.
Make money
Allegedly.
on the swings. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
All right.
And he's got our breakfast bourbon over here.
Yeah, we're doing our breakfast bourbon.
It's empty though.
Happy St. Patrick's Day on
happy
this
St. Patrick's Day.
on this Block Heights. We'll be doing the show and going out and drinking all of our Irish whiskey bourbons. If you're a long time listener to the show, you know we do the breakfast bourbon because why shouldn't we get
Because
our own
why not?
drink? Well, I was out once and somebody was ordering what's the orange juice and champagne thing, the mimosa.
Mimosa.
They get mimosas, and then you can get an extra shot of tequila in it, and then you got an Irish coffee, you got a Mexican coffee.
You do?
Why? Yeah. Why shouldn't
Mexican coffee.
Why shouldn't we get our own? So I'm making a breakfast bourbon.
I love it.
Okay.
I've been loving it. You know me.
It's the Bitcoin drink, preferred drink.
Mm-hmm.
Go in, ask
That's
for a
what they
breakfast
eat
bourbon.
at Bitcoin Lake in Guatemala. You know that we have good breakfast.
Yeah, say that again. You got a
Bitcoin Lake.
You do?
Yes, it's a lake, Amatitlan, Lago Amatitlan in Guatemala is one of the, allegedly, one of the best, lakes in the world.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
And we have our humble own little Lake Satoshi brought to you by Bitcoin 101. If
here we go.
It's a city in Guatemala, and they take Bitcoin as they accept Bitcoin as payment. If you want to go to the store, if you wanna rent a boat to go on the lake, it's a Bitcoin city, basically in Guatemala.
Wow.
You know how El Salvador is everything Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So Guatemala is we're neighbors.
Right.
So we have a lake, and the name is Lake Amatitlan. But now since a lot of Bitcoiners are there, just hippies and doing stuff. Yes, because that's what they do. But so now they named it as Bitcoin Lake.
Oh, okay.
All right. Cool.
Yeah,
We're gonna have to
that is
do
cool.
an episode.
I know, write that down.
All right. So we got Bitcoin Lakes, we got AI and crypto. So this show came from super producer Chantel. Right? So usually I put all the heat on Ashlee Rose to
It's okay, I'm turning into a precious diamond.
I can
take some of the heat. So
Thank you, girl.
what sparked this? Why did you come to this AI and concerns or loves or whatever it is? Tell us about you and the AI, and let's tell you how Bitcoin fixes this.
Yeah, well, in regards to AI, it's something that I'm hearing about a lot often than I ever had. In communications, you can literally change a whole picture, add things, change things. It's something that they're pushing, so I know that, it's something that we maybe need to pay attention to, moving forward. And I was just kind of interested in it, just seeing the different ways that AI is, incorporated in different things. It's not just in communication as we see it is in crypto. ChatGPT, I'm sure, has, some AI kind of in it. Even Snapchat has sent a message regarding AI. So it's everywhere. It's becoming more of a prominent thing. So.
I know there's a lot of concern around it. What do you know about the whole AI revolution? Ashlee Rose?
Okay. Nothing. No, I mean, the only thing that I know is that I like to use ChatGPT, and it makes my life easier. And I like to ask it things that apparently it can't answer.
Well, yeah, censorship.
Yeah.
Pew, pew.
Yeah.
Censorship. Pew, pew.
Yeah, so that's, that's really all I've got. I mean, and then I also kind of like have questions, I guess, around like this is going to be a real spiral. So could, like, if AI were to ever get its dirty little paws on crypto, it could essentially like operate it could like make a business, it could transact, it could be like a human, because they would have money to spend. It would be able to spend value just like we humans do. And that's like a really kind of weird and uncomfortable thought, kind of to think about.
Yeah,
I feel like because right now I've seen people doing experiments where they're like, okay, create this business, but don't create this business, but like I will act in the real world for you. But like if it can have access to spending money and buying things and moving things like with value, I guess, like it could ship something somewhere to someone else, and it could do logistics. I'm ranting now, but essentially I feel like that's I don't know, it could be scary, it could be nice, everything could essentially be free, I guess, if robots are running everything.
It could be all the things.
It could be utopian or dystopian, I guess.
Yeah.
End rant. All right, someone else.
Got any thoughts, Bryon, before I rant?
No, not really. I mean, I do. I just want to hear more about what you guys think.
So I think it's next to my passions in life are like entertainment contract law. Weird, but the thing. Then came Bitcoin and the entire crypto sphere. And now it's also AI takes an overwhelming majority. Like, I don't even use ChatGPT much anymore. I'm running everything local off my computer. Big into the open source freedom thing. Don't have to worry about the censorship.
You say you don't use ChatGPT anymore?
Not as much.
So what do you?
I'm using local. I use
What does that
different
mean,
models.
local?
Well, there's a lot of ChatGPT is one model, right? There are several closed but public models like ChatGPT, Claude. Those are like the two biggest. Then there's a bunch of open source models.
So what's the difference? Is it any more benefits to the other thing that you use over? Okay.
Privacy is the biggest difference. And next to crypto, right? AI, the thing about AI to me, there's a couple of things. A, we're not really using AI yet. So I know we colloquially use that term, but we're not doing anything that's AI.
Yeah.
We're doing... I'm very hesitant to say this, so I'll have to put a lot of disclaimers on it, but we're doing predictive text modeling, right? That's what ChatGPT is. It looks at all of these things that have all this documents and all the information that's fed, and it analyzes sort of how sentences are structured, and then turns that into sort of a predictive test. Think of like a super advanced when you're typing a text message, and it sort of guesses what the next word would be.
Yeah, the auto.
Think of that, but like 10 billion times better.
Interesting.
That is a very low level, or very high level description of what the AI we have today is. But that's close enough to AI to be like, we could really, when people say AI, they're really thinking of like Terminator type stuff, right? Yeah. Like general intelligence, this independent thinking thing that can take over the universe or whatever. We don't have that yet, but we could have it in a matter of months or days. Who knows, right? So that all being said, right, we have what we have. I run it locally because of privacy. I don't want to give ChatGPT my whole history model. I keep it on my computer. I don't need the internet. And I can still get a lot of the same solutions. However, because it's open source, and this is a problem we see a lot in the crypto community, is because it's open source, it's slower, it doesn't have the same funding, it doesn't have the same centralization. There are benefits to centralization, like computer power, right? ChatGPT can harness Google
Does that change
of
the
servers to process whatever it is you're asking. When I run it locally, I have my computer.
Okay. So does that change the answers that we may get depending on that?
Yeah. It changes the answers. It changes the way, very loosely, when I say the word logic, the way it uses logic to figure things out. So it's a slower thing, but just like with money, when we talk about crypto, right, we're at a point now where we need money to be real public money. We don't need government-controlled money. Well, when you're talking about AI, which means you're talking about knowledge, do we need government-controlled knowledge?
No.
Do you think it's going to be different phases, though, to AI? Kind of like how everything else is first introduced as maybe one way or one thing, and then it's, another level or...
It's happening right now.
Okay.
Like, there are some models that, they... So it's AI, but they can like fix it somehow. Like they can like alter the code or like anything on the AI. And there's a lot of conspiracies and a lot of like controversy about it. But yes, there are models that they're like, even though they're AI, they're controlled. So it's like centralized kind of.
Yeah, you look at Google's newest model, right? They have their Gemma model, and that was able to do images. People were like, "Hey, show me show me a field of American revolutionaries." It had like Asian women.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's like show me the history of. Show me what a Nazi Gestapo looked like, and you had like black folks in it. So, and that's all because they tweaked some things. So, but it's not really AI yet. It's still predictive modeling. If it was AI, it doesn't matter what we tweak it into.
Okay.
It's just like you. You are not an artificial intelligence. You're a real intelligence. But schools indoctrinate you, whether or not it's good indoctrination or not. Schools indoctrinate you, but you have the intelligence to decipher, for me, and these other information inputs I've received, I'm not going to go along with this, but I am going to go along with this. I don't believe this, but I will believe this, right? You have your own thing. When we get AI, it doesn't matter how humans tweak the model. It's going to be like, nah, that's some BS. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Right? And so so when we say AI, we're not really talking about what people think of as AI.
Right.
But also there's this old school test called the Turing test, right? So AI has been around since like I think the 40s or 50s.
Really?
The concept of it.
Okay, I was like, really?
Right. What we saw in November of 2022 was the latest version that finally became user friendly. Normal people couldn't really add the technical knowledge, similar to, again, Bitcoin or crypto. If you were in the community in 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, all the way up to probably about 16, 17, you had to have a technical background, right? There was no getting into crypto pre-2016 and not having a sort of quasi-technical background,
No,
right?
I don't feel so bad for not knowing.
No wallets, no nothing. You have to go on chain and do it.
Well, yeah, paper wallets were still a thing, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Deterministic addresses, so you didn't. So writing down 12 words wasn't a thing in 2010.
No.
You had one private key, and every time you got a new transaction, you needed a new private key. Like and the private key wasn't 12 words. Like, it was a mess.
Wow.
That was AI for
Back then.
50, 60 years, all the way up until about a year, just over a year ago, right?
Wow.
Then it became user interface friendly. And so people started to use it. And that's sort of where we are with it. Now we've seen leaps and bounds. If you're into like the video parts of AI, you have the most popular thing that's recent, closest to this block height, would be this thing called Sora that ChatGPT released, right?
Yes.
Sora.
You had this old 1 year ago. They had AI make a video of Will Smith eating spaghetti.
I've seen it, and it's all kind
Now-
of like mangled mess.
It
Really?
looks mangled mess today. But when it came out, it was like, oh my God, AI can do this.
Yeah, that's a good point.
In like
Okay.
5 years, imagine what it could do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they dropped the Sora thing. Now they didn't use Will Smith. But if you don't know you're looking at AI,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
for your average person, if they just see that, they're like, oh, that's just regular video. They just took video of somebody. That's 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the key thing here is with the Will Smith thing, people were saying 5 years from now, imagine what it would be. No. Try 1 year from now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So now imagine where we're going to be
6
1
months.
year
Exactly.
from now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so AGI, the thing that people really, AGI is what people really think of is AI.
Yeah.
It's
AGI.
artificial general intelligence.
Okay.
Right? It just can think for
Think
itself.
Yeah.
You tell it do this, and it doesn't just say no, I can't do that because the people at OpenAI told me I can't do it.
Yeah.
Right.
It takes that, it looks at all the different feeds, it becomes your favorite dystopian movie apocalypse thing, where it's like, you know what, people really want this, I'm going to give them
do
that.
it. Yeah.
Let's shut it down, right? So that's AGI. We don't have that. AI that we call is really a large language model. It's learning. Maybe it's no different.
So it's
just
always
early
going to be
stage.
around.
It's
pretty
always gonna-
much.
alone.
No, around. It
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
like.
Yeah. There's a conception, right? Like it's never going to get worse than it is today.
Okay, so it can only improve.
Yeah, well, it's not going to get worse.
Okay.
You see what ChatGPT can do today.
Yeah.
It's not really going to get worse. ChatGPT as a model might get worse, but now we know how to do it. Again, this is those parallels with Bitcoin and crypto, right? Once Bitcoin was the real innovation of Bitcoin was that how do you do distributed money, distributed computing? It was a distributed computing problem. People didn't know how to do peer-to-peer anything. Bitcoin solved it using proof of work, right? That's what that whole thing is about. Once we solved it, people like me believe right now Bitcoin is the best answer for the money situation. Let's say Bitcoin disappears. The technology doesn't disappear.
Right.
We still know how to do distributed money, and there's nothing stopping other distributed, as we've seen, because
You're
now
just
there's like
finding another platform.
60,000
Yeah.
Bitcoin/Ethereum imitators.
Right.
Right? You can't put the cat back, the genie back in the bottle. You're not going to put the AI back in the bottle.
Yeah.
And so, just like many things, it's like now the question is, do we go towards the most dystopian model of it, which is I think what your fear is, or do we go towards an optimistic model where
Right.
there's public say and there's public control, and that's the
Yeah.
difference between a ChatGPT, which it ironically is the company is named OpenAI. This is Elon Musk's big concern with the whole thing. It was supposed to be the people's AI, and then there's this other platform called Hugging Face, which is like
What?
Hugging Face,
Yeah.
like hugging
Yes.
face.
Right. That's why I'm laughing.
He's like, put it together.
And they host a bunch of open AI models. Now, they move slower because they don't have the funding. It's literally like you who take, let's say, Facebook's model. Facebook was working on AI. Somebody leaked it. That's called Llama. Somebody leaked the Facebook model. And instead of trying to be like, oh, get it off and Facebook sort of embraced it, so kudos to Facebook. I don't ever give kudos to Facebook.
Yeah.
But kudos to Mark and Facebook on embracing the leak and just saying, screw it, we're going to make it open source. And now people can take that Facebook model without fear of legal consequence and tinker with it. And then they can give it to us. So you have these models like Mistral and these other things that use that llama base, but change it, uncensor it, add different metrics for it to learn from. And that's how you, make it so it's not dystopian as government controlled, and make it so it has access. So it's not just people with privilege. Again, very similar to money. There's money, there's identity, and there's knowledge in my worldview, right? You want money is man-made, but we have to transact somehow. We don't want that in the control of governments. There was a need for that, I think, at one point in history.
Yeah.
That point has passed. Now the money should come back to the people.
Yeah.
Identity. You want your driver's license. Are you? Just because your license says this is your name, are you your name? Are you super producer Chantel? Does that make up the entirety of your personality? Right. Are you Ashlee Rose?
Yeah.
Right? Is that the entirety? That's just a name. That's one little piece of you, right? So your identity is something that should be free. Your money is something that be free, and knowledge is something that should be free. Yeah, freedom.
So then it sounds like the answer to does crypto and AI align is like it could.
It could in multiple ways. Yeah. It aligns in principle. Right?
Right, yeah.
So crypto deals with money, AI deals with knowledge.
Right.
Right? Now crypto is a very general term, but there is freedom money.
Right.
That's what I'm here for.
Right.
Right? I want people to be able to interact with other people directly without intervention.
Yeah.
That's the money part. AI is the knowledge part. I want people to share ideas directly. That's sort of the internet, right? To me, that's the definition of Web3. People say, what is Web3, right? There's the very first definition, which is you can do stuff on Ethereum. That was the first definition of Web3. Web3 was just Ethereum. Then Web3 became this really broad concept that nobody can define. I define it as, look, you have AI, which is how the internet thinks, right?
Okay, yep.
You have IoT, the Internet of Things. This is how the internet communicates. Your fridge can talk to your car to see how far you are from home, so it knows how to do whatever, right? Pour some water for you so when you walk in the door, it's fresh and cold. Oh, wow. So you got AI, you got IoT, you have XR, which is the merger of virtual reality and augmented reality, right? Virtual reality being the goggles you put in your head. And that sort of starts to tie into the metaverse. You have augmented reality. Just think Amazon. When you want to buy like a TV stand, you can take the TV stand, then take your phone and place it in your actual room and see how it looks.
See how it looks in your space.
So that's augmented reality. So augmented and virtual together are XR. So that's how the internet looks. So we got how the internet thinks, how the internet talks, how the internet looks, and then you got crypto. This is how the internet transacts.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
This is Web3.
Wow.
When you talk about the metaverse, this is the metaverse. It's not us going into computers. It's bringing computers out to us as well, right?
So that's looks, talks, and transacts. Was there another one?
Looks, talks, transacts, thinks.
Thinks. I knew I was missing.
And that's the AI part, right? Now you got AI, right? AI wants to do a lot, but the one thing AI can't do is take over the banking system right now because you need KYC.
Yeah.
And you got to deal with these centralized entities. How do you send ChatGPT out to, you say, start a business?
Exactly.
Right.
I was just going to say that. Like, do you think that the AI part will withstand or essentially take over? You can only kind of program something to do so much, right? So you don't have the feelings behind it, the customer service, the emotion, the labor, the skill sets. Like literally, you're kind of inputting something for the artificial intelligence. So
right, but if all the AI is doing is just like or like logistically organizing it and paying it, like humans could still provide the labor being paid and organized by AI, and
that'll just be how it starts.
I don't know. This I'm just thinking out loud, basically.
Yeah, until they got the robots.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what I was kind of going to. Like,
just showed their first robot last week.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's where my rant was.
Yeah, and that's it right there. And it's going to continue to grow.
But then the utopian side of that could be that everything ends up being for free, because if robots are doing everything, then...
This is the promise of technology.
I feel like they're going to have to get paid some way to keep being able to distribute them.
So let me put it like this, right? Farming used to be 100% human labor involved, intensive, right? Then we came up with like the technology to have a tool to tie this I'm not a farmer. Don't hate me, farmers.
A seed sprayer,
but
maybe.
A seed, well, just something
layer.
Just something to till the fields, right? You just tie it to an ox, and the ox pushes it. That's the technology. How many humans did that displace?
Many.
The ox walking one row used to be 4 people. Walking that one row. Now it's an ox walking one row. Then it became a machine that could do 8 rows, so it replaced the oxes.
Right.
So are you advocating that we should go back to humans tilling every row for seeding? Or did that free those humans to focus on other work,
other things.
Progression, yeah.
That could be a good idea. That's a good point. But then you have to think the basics, though, like how it even really got started. So if one thing was started by the humans or whatever, then they made technology and it changed. Just think about the more things that they make, the more that they're taking away from or subtracting from or replacing, in a sense. So
I think that comes from this idea, and this is something money people, again, to tie this even with the crypto realm, and there's a lot of tie in here, is that it's somehow knowledge or work is this limited supply. When you're not working the fields, I can now dispatch you to work something that we don't have technology for, because the human brain, as far as we know, is the most advanced thing in the universe at this point.
We don't have
evidence of the contrary yet. Right. So now, instead of having you focus your intelligence on tilling a field, I can have your intelligence on how best to mate seeds to make the best yield from those tills,
or stronger oxen.
Then once I have how to build stronger oxen, right? So you can do more. And then once I have technology that replaces that part, I can move you on and on and on and on until you're at a point where maybe it is just creativity. This is the Star Trek thing, right? Star Trek didn't need money anymore, so they could now be free to explore the universe. They weren't free to explore the universe until aliens showed up on Earth and then united mankind, and we sort of said, let's forget the old concepts of money, bring in a new concept of money. And what people do, and then focus that towards a new goal. And now they have technology that will take care of everything on Earth, where we're based, but now we're intergalactic species, right? So
that's interesting.
To be like, AI's it's going to take my job, right?
They're going to have AI girlfriends and boyfriends, and it's going to take our...
Maybe.
Did you see the AI shoppers? It was like AI shoppers. I saw this video, and
like a shipped shopper, kind of like what that you mean?
Kinda, yeah. But they were literally in a grocery store picking up stuff off the shelves amongst other real humans, and they couldn't recognize them. Like, you know, of course, when you actually like focused in and you saw the movements, it did kind of look a little bit more robot-y. But if you just grocery shopping, you're not really focused on another individual as you are what you're going in there for. So it was just kind of like, whoa, like, you know, to really see that.
On that line, right? Last year, over COVID, we focused on Amazon drivers and delivery drivers, right? UPS, all of them, who got to like piss in bottles. Because Amazon's so meticulous about getting you your same day battery delivery. Right? 2 hours after you order it. They don't got time to stop and go to the bathroom. Well, what if it was a robot doing it.
Yeah, they don't
need to use the
They don't
bathroom.
need to use the bathroom.
You're telling me that's a worse situation for the Amazon driver who now can get trained to do something else. Yeah. Unless your argument, in my worldview, unless your argument is that Amazon driver, that's the best they can ever do. They will never be able to do anything better than be an Amazon driver.
Some people, some people where they
I
are
can't
is
think
the
of
best
one.
they could do.
Name one.
People who have disabilities?
Then they find other things. There are people who have disabilities who have jobs.
But then
now.
I guess
you find new things.
But in a jobs role, it's only so many roles. You know what I'm saying?
No,
so it's
that's
like
not true.
No, but,
That's
in
not true.
In jobs.
25 years ago, there was no such thing as a podcast producer. Yet here you are doing that job.
On today.
Because we create new things. Once we free up our brain power to do new things, we create new things.
Oh, wow.
And then we'll do those new things.
Okay.
And then progression just grows exponentially. Wow. Yeah.
When you put it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and like you as a business owner, like if I own Amazon, I wish, but like, if you own Amazon, like for example, like would you like to pay your employees like the time that they go to the bathroom, or you rather just have robots and you don't have to pay them?
Right. It's obviously more efficient.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay them for
time. I mean, but if we go in there and think about how long it takes for them to maybe charge or boot up, or how long it takes to input that information.
But then that could be a new job that the person who was working on the line, on the what is it called? Well,
you got a good
conveyor
point.
belt.
I be trying, but you guys got some good point.
There's definitely dystopian aspects. And this is why you need some of the freedom aspects, right? This is, again, the genius of what Bitcoin introduced, what crypto has embraced, what everybody, I'll say, people with the best intentions, 99% of everything in crypto is a scam.
Yes.
But that 0.01% that's not a scam still consists of hundreds of individual entities who have best intentions, right? And most of those will probably fail, but it's okay because what you're doing is driving through these aligned incentives, and that's really what this whole thing introduced is aligned incentives. How do you align the incentives? How do you make AI? So, like, people are afraid that AI is just going to run free one day. Well, what if you, by design, just like how, let's say, Bitcoin works, right? Or Ethereum works, or any of them work, right? But especially something like a Bitcoin or Ethereum, where you have to pay for block space. You have to pay for data to be actually transacted. Well, that means taking over the world's computing system isn't free for AI if you're afraid of AI just taking over the world's computer system. It has to pay. And especially if you have a limited supply like Bitcoin does, you can't just print money into infinity to pay for it.
Yeah.
You have to justify the payment.
Yeah.
And you have to get it from the humans who have it.
Yeah.
And then if the humans have it and then you take it all, you got to hope the humans don't fork off and do something different.
Yeah.
But that's the key. That is limited.
It's limited. Well, that's what I'm saying. You're putting these limits on it.
Yeah.
And so, like...
That's the key. It's limited.
There's a company called Lightning Labs. They work on the Lightning Network on Bitcoin. And the people who invented the internet were pretty smart and forward-thinking. Surprise, surprise, right? They have, you've been on a website, you've seen like error 404, page not found.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, way back in like the 60s or 70s, when they came up with all these the error codes, they came up with error code 402, payment not received. Now, they had no idea how that would be used. There was no such thing as online payments. Like, they could just share static web pages. They didn't know what they were doing. They just knew that one day, one day we're going to free up enough human mind resources to come up with a way to do purely digital payments. Wow. And in that case, we can do a error 402, payment not found. Oh, wow. And so with the advent of ChatGPT, most people are used to using the free version, which is you go to the website and use the free version. A very smaller subsect actually pay for it, right, and get this higher advanced version, but you're still using the website version. And then a very, very small subset understand what an API is. And you can use ChatGPT, the paid version, but not without using the interface. You're just using it sort of like how I use mine, right? I can tie into ChatGPT without ever going to the ChatGPT website, right? And now I'm paying for every request I make. And so what Lightning Labs did was utilized Lightning Network because you can do sub-penny payments, right? They can take a Satoshi.
Okay.
Lightning takes one Satoshi and then breaks that down into millisatoshis, right? So there's even a Satoshi can be subdivided, right? And then they tie that to Error 402. So I have some service I'm providing you, right? On my site through a server or something, and you want to use it. Well, instead of me having to say, hey, give me your credit card information and KYC with me and give me all this information that you shouldn't be giving me.
Right.
I don't need any of your information. If you want to access this data, it costs 5 cents per inquiry, 5 sats per inquiry. And now you can pay with Satoshi. So as you make the request, you say, hey, ChatGPT, what is this? And you send it to my model that I host.
Okay.
And the charge is 5 sats. So along with the question, you send 5 sats. Okay. And if when my server sees it, if it doesn't see the sats, you get error 402, payment not received. But if you send the sats with it, I get paid at the exact same time you get information. Right?
And that's by like hooking up your like a lightning wallet? Or?
Well, like Bryon was talking about earlier with like doing if you're a trader, right? Information is key. You're constantly making API calls to other services, trying to get information about current price movements so you can make a prediction model and then make a trade based on that prediction model, right? But you have to either get that API information either comes free, which means it's probably not that reliable because it's outdated. Yeah. At worst, scammy at best. Scammy at worst. Unreliable at best. Or you're paying for it, which means you got to give. If Bryon's the one providing that service, I got to give him my credit card information, my ID. He knows all this stuff about me. Why should he have to know this stuff about? I just want to access data on the system. Why does he got to know about me? Yeah. He needs to make his money and move on, right? And now he's got this AI interpreter. So now using like Lightning, if I incorporate that, Bryon can just be like, well, look, for every second of data, it costs 20 sats, right? And I send an API request. What's this stock or what's this crypto or what's this whatever doing? Here's my 20 sats. Send me the data. And for every second of data I want, I'll pay 20 sats.
So is that kind of
And he doesn't need to know nothing about me. He doesn't have to collect credit cards. There's nothing for a hacker to hack on his website that'll expose my information. Yeah. And I get access to the information I need. Yeah. Peer-to-peer, directly, using AI, using crypto. Yes. The way life should be, peer-to-peer.
Is that
because right now you do something in the bank and like they know everything about you, but like it's not only them that they know. Like they sell your information.
They sell it.
Yes, they sell it. Well, that's why I say like everything is a scam. Like yes, because they sell your information, and now everybody has your information. They know where you live. They know your name, your age, like everything.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, like, is that kind of what people mean when they say like crypto can help you take back control of your data?
I don't think that's what most people mean. No. They have a very. I think it's their intent, but I don't think they know what they're saying.
Because I feel like it is, though. Like, if you're saying all that we need to do is, like, just pay them and be done, they don't need to know, like, who we are.
Well, there's ID. So, like I said earlier, right, there's money. That's a very important problem we need to solve. Take it out of centralized hands and put money back in the public hands. Yeah. Government money isn't public money, even though, by definition, government money is what we call public money. I think that's
It's
the
not
oxymoron.
since the moment they print it.
Right. Then there's knowledge. This is what the printing press unleashed. And you'll find a lot of early people in the crypto space and the Bitcoin space. They don't equate Bitcoin to like central banks or anything. They equate Bitcoin to the printing press. The first time ever we could actually share in bulk information. All you had to do was learn how to read.
Right.
Right? And then there's knowledge. How do we share information? The internet was the first great barrier breaker of sharing information. Now we have AI. Who needs to go to Google? When you can imagine these large, and again, we don't even have AI yet.
Yeah.
We just have large language models, and this is the worst it'll ever be. Like I was trying to say earlier, there's this Turing test. That's what used to be our test. Like, hey, if you have, there used to be this thing called a Turing test, where essentially there's a closed door. You don't know what's behind the door. It could be a machine or it could be a human. All you can do is ask simple questions on a sheet of paper, slide it under the door, an answer will get written on it, and it'll slide back under. The Turing test is, this is how you test for intelligence. If it convinces you through those answers, it has to convince you it's intelligent, right?
Yeah.
Computers couldn't do that.
Exactly.
Forever. Now they are. And what people are doing is they're changing the Turing test. They're like, well, yeah, the Turing test wasn't really a great test. Really, you need to test this, that, and the other. There was a year and a half ago, this is like summer, let's see, ChatGPT 3 came out, or 3.5 came out in November of 2022. So it had to be like summer of 2022. And don't ever trust, verify everything.
Yeah.
Go Google it. Trust Google. In the summer of like 2022, there was this Google engineer. For whatever AI stuff Google was working on, this dude came out, was like, AGI exit. Google invented real AI. This shit is cognate and understands, and we've now made intelligence. I got to get out of here.
Wow.
The world is changing.
Like, I feel
And
alive.
Google was like, oh, he's crazy. Everybody was like, oh, he's crazy. Everybody was like, oh, he's crazy. Because from what we know, we've seen what the ChatGPT 3 and 2.5 and 2 and all that could do. And it was like, pff,
Yeah.
dude, crazy. And then a few months later, ChatGPT 3.5 came out. Now they have websites
I hear
that are, I don't know, just buzzing, so if you hear it. But
Oh, it's gone.
now we got websites, like you were saying, where it's like dating based on AI.
Yeah.
And what was that movie, Her?
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, that's coming to a reality.
Yeah.
Was dude crazy? Or did you just see the technology? We haven't been released yet.
Yeah. I don't know. I used to think I was crazy when I was on website dating apps.
And that was when it was
And now that's
theoretically real
normalized.
people.
It was the thing. Yeah.
At worst,
You
it was some dude in India.
At least it was a
faking
person.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now you can't be too sure.
right.
Cannot.
So it is what it is. But yeah, AI, I think AI is going to be net beneficial for humanities. I think we haven't even really explored, like I said, what the Web3 is. When you really tie together what the Internet of Things can do, you know, your car pulls up to your house, sends a signal, your house sees the signal, your lights turn on, your tea warmer turns on, your oven starts preheating for dinner. All these things happen. That's IoT. That's computers talking. This is how driving automated vehicles and all that, autonomous vehicles are going to work. You have IoT. You have AI, how the internet thinks. You have XR, how the internet interacts with the world. And you have crypto, which is how the internet transacts. This becomes that new world you're looking at. And then the only real question becomes, I think it's net positive for humanity. The only downside is if we let centralized entities control all of these aspects, then it becomes the most dystopian movie. What's that? Hunger Games?
Yeah.
It becomes the worst version of the Matrix ever. Matrix will seem positive compared. Right? Or it becomes of the people.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a net positive for humanity.
Yeah.
You know, technology is good.
Can be good.
Yeah,
It can be good. It can be good. So that's how we can increase. That's how we can AI and crypto in the lines. So that being said, I don't know if you guys can hear this.
I know.
We're acting a little weird. We keep getting this weird sub-hum thing in the headphones.
Yeah, the luxury of live.
Yeah.
Yeah, AI doesn't really like us talking about how to free
I think
ourselves
it's because
from
I've been saying the scam thing, you know.
Oh, the
AI
government's
doesn't like
after
it.
us.
Yeah,
You know.
So that is what it is. How can they? How can people tell us more? Give us their input about AI, crypto, and all
We
that.
are on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. We are at The Blockument. We are on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And you can go to theblockument.com. That is the Blockument with a K, and you can see that on your screen right about here-ish. Everyone just point down, you know.
All right. Well, there it is. So until then, today is St. Patrick's Day. So after you listen to this podcast,
go have a green beer.
go think about it over a green beer, an Irish whiskey, or a breakfast bourbon. And
or a margarita. No.
Yeah, green margaritas, I guess, work.
There it is.
Whatever helps. And till next time, come for the riches.
Stay for the revolution.
Peace.
Peace.